You're looking at the Suncor Community Leisure Center at McDonald Island Park, and you can see right there that it is in fact an island surrounded by water on all sides. That's the Athabasca River and the Clearwater River here in northern Alberta. My name's Brian Chick, and I am here with Tyler Spitzer. You're tuned in for the New Holland Canadian U21 Championships right here from Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, Alberta. And we're about to get underway with our fourth draw. Yep, draw number 4 between British Columbia and Nova Scotia's provincial champions, skipped by Emily Bowles and Allison McNutt for Nova Scotia. So what are you thinking of the action so far, Tyler?
So far, it has been wonderful. First 3 draws, we've seen a few extra end games, a few games that maybe were not so close, but the energy can be felt all around this building, and it'll only get better as the week goes on.
If you've tuned in before, you've heard us rave about this facility already. It's a just incredible building with every athletic and recreation offering you could possibly imagine. Playgrounds, swimming pools, gyms, fitness centers, restaurants, courts, rinks. It's got everything. So great location, and we've been treated very well so far, and the action has been pretty intense on the ice. So getting us started for Nova Scotia is Grace McCusker. They're playing out of the Halifax Curling Club.
Top 4, guys, you got it.
They have played 1 game so far, which was a monster win over Quebec, 15-1.
That was one of those games I was referring to, and I said it quickly got away from Quebec.
Well, we've got 8 games on every draw. They can't all be close. A number of them have been, but Mara Harris from Ontario, recently relocated to British Columbia for university. One of a few curlers with a famous curling parent. Father Mike Harris was the '98 Olympic silver medalist. One of my good buddies from Toronto. The BC team also won their first game, but that was a little bit closer, 9-8 over Saskatchewan. And I think every game we've watched so far has started with one of these ends where the rocks go in the house and the opponent just try to hit them.
Nobody seems really willing to mix it up out of the gate. But at least this morning, starting in the second end, we got real busy real fast.
We've seen a few games where, well, every game, I think all 4 of them so far have started like this. Some of them will also play this way through the second end and then maybe settle in once they got a grip on the ice and everybody's a little more comfortable. This is just another way to bank time on your clock as well. You don't have to think about the strategy, and you just throw a bunch of hits. Although it is thinking time, not playing time, so it doesn't matter what kind of shot you throw as long as you deliver it in a timely fashion. Allison Umlaw throwing for Nova Scotia, a former champion of this event. Played with Taylor Stevens, who won it in 2022. Represented Canada at a World B and a World Championship. They won the gold medal at the World Bs.
You got it. Good time. Nice down here.
So that was 2023, not 2022. Gabby Brissett, left-handed tucker. I always find that it's a weird rock to see coming at you.
It's not something you see very common.
Take it, yeah.
Well, made the shot, stuck around. Let's see, Emily Bowles call the takeout right in return. Grace McCusker on the sweep, trying to hold it straight. Makes contact, big roll, will stick around, but changes up the look a little bit. Another offering from Gabby Brissett here. Mara Harris trying to make it curl, trying to bring it up a little bit, needs a piece. And just didn't get enough of it. Clipped it, moved it to the side, but didn't remove the yellow. McNutt asks Maria Fitzgerald just to draw to the top of the 12-foot. BC does have hammer in this game, as decided by the pregame draw to the buttons. Those last shot draws also become critical later on when it comes to certain tiebreakers. Not everybody's a big fan of that format, but it is what it is.
Very critical. Seems so undramatic to do this every draw, but when you add it up over the course of the week, suddenly at the end of the week, it's a number that could be the difference between being in the playoffs and not being in the playoffs.
We had, at the mixed doubles last week, 8 teams tied for the last 4 spots, all with the same record. Most of them hadn't played each other, so they were all decided by last shot draws, and 4 teams made it in on the last shot draw, and 4 teams were eliminated based on that number.
Goodbye.
Another unforced error there from the BC team. McNutt now trying to take advantage of that center guard and asking Maria Fitzgerald for a draw right to the top of the 8-foot, maybe bite 4.
Line's good. Line's good. Lots of room. Line's good. Top 4. Wait, only. It's running. Curls around. Grace is raw. Okay. I don't think so.
Just a little bit extra weight. Didn't want to grab the curl, but does finish somewhat buried, about half covered. And now BC changes their approach and try to freeze their way out of this and generate a 2. Meredith Cole here, trying to basically lock one on the button.
Curling lock. Hard, guys. Hard, get it there. Hard, get it, go.
Line looks pretty good if the weight is there. It's coming up a little bit light, though.
Sorry. 16-5.
Opportunity for Nova Scotia now to get one buried behind the center line.
Yeah, if they can put one top 8, top 4, then BC's got a little bit of work to do, not to give up a steal of 2.
Like 15, 15, 5? Okay, just top 4.
You're hearing 15, 15, 5, 15 and a half seconds, hog to hog. That is a pretty slick ice, sliding very nicely with a lot of curl we've seen already this week. McNutt playing out of the Halifax Curling Club. Really nice nice weight there from Ali, just maybe a hair on the wide side. You said you heard her say that it's running, just didn't want to grab the curl.
Actually, I like a little more. Yeah. Try and tap it back to her. Like back 4, back 8 here.
Okay, that was a 14.9.
Okay.
It's like 14.5.
Yeah. Okay. This isn't a whole lot less ice than what I was giving you guys, but
Ali McNutt, also fresh off the U Sports Championships that were in Fredericton just 2 weeks ago.
okay.
Currently playing for Dalhousie, studying environmental science. Emily Bowles here looking to tap that one off the forefoot. Try to get those yellows behind the tee line.
Really gotta curl. Really gotta go. Really hard front.
You're not pushing it. You're not pushing it.
Okay, okay. I got 12.
UC digging themselves a hole here early.
A lot of unforced errors, a couple of flashes, a couple of draw weight mistakes, and all of a sudden
12.
Nova Scotia looks like they could put a few on the board, barring a really nice shot from Emily Bowles.
That was wide. Not wide, if anything. That's good. Okay.
Another nice shot there from Nova Scotia, and that's Danger Bay.
Do we just hit?
How do you not give up a couple here?
It's a lot of yellows to look at as you get ready to throw your last shot.
Like on the nose with. I think we're giving up one.
Yeah.
I think on the nose with 9.
Doesn't squirt the 7?
It might, but I think it's dead now. But as long as we hit it on the nose.
I mean, do you guys think this is there for 1?
It's either the draw or the nose to give up 1.
Yeah, I agree. Do we think this is here for 1 ever?
Oh, no.
No?
Unless you run this back and just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
The triple, you gotta like cross it somehow. I don't mind. Up to you, whatever you feel.
Okay. Well,
you
I
can
want to.
try it. If you want to try it, you can try it.
Well,
Like you're thinking a mirror high and like hopefully get that going that way.
yeah. Like pretty much hit as much as we can see. Like knows it.
You have all.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Up to you. I don't mind nose. Let's play it.
They're looking for the nose, which will, in theory, get rid of 2 of the yellows.
Okay.
We can draw it up for you if we get the overhead.
Out. Are we giving up a field 2?
So trying to hit this on the nose. That'll go off that and go that way. That'll stuff here. That'll go that way. But in theory, your shooter will stay right in. Oh, I still can't find the right button for that one.
I like it.
That one, where the big arrow is. You know what I mean. So it should be close to the nose. And if executed properly, it should still be a steal of 1. The danger is getting a little bit wide, rolling out, and potentially giving up a few. Last rock of the first end coming from Victoria's Emily Bowles, looking to get some yellow moving. Makes contact, moves the yellow. Does she stick around? think that does the job. It's
Very close for the second one.
just one, so great. It's too early to call it a game saver, but definitely kept it closer. That's 1 point on the board, stolen by Nova Scotia. We'll be right back after this break.
When I think New Holland, the first word that would come to my mind, I would think success. I think without it, for me, the success isn't there.
Whenever you deal with somebody so long and they take care of you, you remember that.
New Holland builds products that will continue to evolve and make the farmer more efficient, that can produce food for the world.
Here's to those who ask how. Like Kevin, who asked Janine from Home Hardware how to build a place to work. Or not work. Or Siobhan, who took Josh's advice and created a front yard worthy of this TV commercial. Or Eric and Sasha, who asked Julie how to reimagine their backyard so they could be more outdoorsy. Complete your next project with helpful advice from thousands of store owners and team members across Canada. Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
Well, you never really like giving up a steal, but I think in that situation, BC will take it.
That's a BC.
Happy to only have given up one when they were staring at potentially 4.
17. Good job.
That was 1 point on the board for Nova Scotia. And yeah, that was shaping up to look like 2 or 3 or potentially 4 for BC, but pay no attention to that scoreboard. It's got that backwards. What should be 1-0 for yellow. But yeah, it looked like it could be a few, but a great shot by Emily Bowles there. Limits the damage, and really no harm done after the first end, being down 1.
Sorry.
There's an example of the curl we were talking about earlier.
I don't love the corner.
If you get too close to that guard, it actually pops all the way out the other side, and that's just from the top of the house in. Lots of curl if you throw the nice draw weight. Mara Harris looking for a freeze right to that button stone.
Line's good, all you. Really curling. Hard, Gabby. Hard, Gabby. Oh, wait, we're curling past. We're passing it. Just let it sit.
And there's the other example of that where you cross from the other side and it almost pokes out the other half.
This is corner.
Allison Umla looking for a little run back. Makes contact and will spin to the back 12, but not out.
Nice shot.
Gabby Brissett Going after the one in the house, but ticks the guard out of the way and opens things up quite a bit.
Nova Scotia put up the guard back up.
Allison Umla again, studying communications at Mount St. Vincent University. Recently completed a internship program with the World Curling Federation where she got to go to a world championship and work with the WCF on some of the media coverage. Seemed like a pretty fun experience.
That is it. That's okay. Just a little tight.
Little bit over curled. That rock in the button, near the button, is exposed.
Okay, close. Yeah, early. Yep, keep going. Keep going. Hard, 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 hard. Hard. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, man.
Seems like nobody can quite get around that guard. You'll see Allie McNutt call for it one more time. This time it's up to Marie Fitzgerald to put it back.
Similar to the first end where Nova Scotia has BC chasing them.
Maria is a psychology student at Mount St. Mary's. No, sorry, just St. Mary's, not Mount St. Mary's. St. Mary's University. So many of these players coming through the U18 program. Almost everybody says, their bio says that I played at a U18s or medaled at a U18s, and it just shows that the development and the progress you can make from a young teen to an older teen and even into your 20s, and that's what's so great about the developmental events.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have the reigning U18 women's champions here from Manitoba, I believe.
I believe you're right.
Do you want to try and catch this, or do you want to just try and rip a double and roll? Which one?
That'd be Shayla Hayward playing out of the Carmen Golf and Curling Club.
I like a 9.
U18s were earlier this year, or late last year. I'm losing track of time now, but it was in Ottawa. And last year, the winner of this event was the reigning U18 team, and Alberta's Mila Plett. She won both. That team
Oh, I think we're nutting.
didn't actually make it out of Alberta this year, so they had
to the level of competition.
Well, they had also had a big year. They played 2 world championships, and some of their teammates went to the Youth Olympics. So by the time playdowns rolled around, I think they were pretty gassed. I know they'd like to be here, but just makes some opportunity for some other Alberta teams. Meredith Cole kind of jammed the run back. And so you'll see Maria Fitzgerald try to put that guard back.
Really hard. Hard, gotta go. Right to center. Yep. Hard. Keep pushing. Great speed. Nice.
Nicely placed there.
So here comes a peel weight. Yellow, red, yellow. Ideally, just try to open up the front and hopefully stick your red. I think Emily Bowles would like an easier shot than a triple attempt on her last one.
Clean. Clean,
Just squirts the red through. The yellow's still sitting too, and BC can't buy one.
Nova Scotia again will try to put the guard back up. Keep having BC
Just like 2-3.
chase them.
Yeah, a little bit higher would be good, but same spot's okay.
That's basically coaching 101. Make them throw the hard shots.
Like a 16?
If you make all the easy ones, you don't have to throw too many hard ones.
Okay.
Spoken like you were a coach.
Have been, still do. Just looking for another guard, but this has to curl a ton. Almost comes up all the way, but they bring it into the house. And I like the audible plan B on that one. You're leaving a bit of a teaser. You can see most of that rock, almost all that rock on the button.
Yeah, I've seen him curl here.
But I think that hole is tighter than the way these rocks curl. That hole is tighter than it looks. Certainly makeable, but we've seen a lot of teams over curl on this kind of shot.
Suddenly, if BC they can make this like they're calling it, they would quickly turn the tables here on Nova Scotia. And
I'd say definitely there. With her first of the second end, Emily Bowles looking for a little hit and roll. By the guards, contact, and just rolls a little too far.
To your point about the curl, she threw that one a little bit up and probably to ensure she got through that hole and
To make a draw around.
just didn't quite curl enough.
I mean, if you're up here, it's okay though.
Yeah.
So we were taking.
Yeah, definitely weight sensitive. With a bit more weight, it will track a bit.
Let's make it out.
And a good shot here from Ali McNutt could once again ask Emily Bowles to throw against 3.
So like similarly? I guess so, yeah. Okay. All there, all there. Whoa, whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Well, it needs to curl to touch it. Curl? Yep. Hard out.
Trying to get a piece of that top 8 to take some of the weight off.
Okay.
Not to be, and this one will slide through. So
Really for hit and roll or just
facing 2, how do you get your 1?
Couple different ways here. And talking about the hit and roll.
Whatever you're feeling here, I like both.
I don't mind.
Just a little extra weight on that one. They would have loved the tick and to sit 3, but there was probably always going to be a makeable draw.
I haven't really thrown many draws, so I don't really know. I don't mind this. Let's just do this. Get the roll in.
So that last one went okay.
Yeah, I think like here's a 10 and just cross the face of hair.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seems like Emily's a little hesitant to throw a draw there. Would rather play the hit and the roll. Certainly makeable, but Skip's got to be able to throw a draw at some point, but maybe she hasn't quite figured it out yet.
One across, we need to roll in. Yeah. Okay. We've seen this ball curl?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
All right, let's do it.
She made a nice hit on her last one in the first end. Looking to do the same now in the second.
Last rock of the second coming up. Nice control weight hit, hoping to get a little flop into the 8-foot.
We can roll the other way.
Got the hit, got a roll, and is it far enough? I think so. One point for Red on the board. We have a tie game, 1-1 after 2. We'll be back with the third after a short break.
Nutrien Ag Solutions. Everything you need to win the season and go full seed ahead.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
Welcome back to the Suncor Community Leisure Center at McDonald Island Park in Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, Alberta. You're tuned into the New Holland Canadian U21 Championships. My name's Brian Chick, and we're here with Tyler Spitzer, who's part of the organizing committee of this great event. And so far, you got to be happy with how it's going.
Yeah, we're thrilled. This was a few years in the making, this event. We were originally going to host it in 2021, but COVID pushed that back. So it's been a few years in the making, and so far it has been awesome.
Mara Harris with a little speed wobble coming out of the hack on that one, but looking to throw a nice tight center guard.
Running well. Okay, we can be here.
Coming down, please. Just say.
I think we're 14-8.
Just in. Top 12. Top 12, top 8. That's it. Oh, leave it high.
Slides a little bit deep.
One, perfect.
Yeah.
Nova Scotia to play a hit on it now.
They called for the roll. You can make the double and the roll, or you can just get the roll. Either one's fine. Grace McCusker makes contact, gets the second one moving, but doesn't remove it from play. Now you'll see Gabby Brissett taking on a hit and roll of her own.
Do you prefer 10? I just would prefer this.
Gabby Brissett's a civil engineering student at the University of Victoria. Also played at the U Sports Games in 23 and 24. So a lot of these guys were in Fredericton just a couple of weeks ago. That's a lot of travel for a university student in what's probably approaching finals season.
Sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
One side of the country to the other.
10-8.
But I guess that is the sacrifice you make to play in high-level curling events in a country as big as Canada.
The serious teams certainly earn their air miles, that's for sure. Allison Umla just looking for a nose hit. Tracking a little bit, needs to curl. And gets enough of it, sits around.
I got 9-9.
Gabby Brissett trying to take on the double here. She's close. Just over curls by an inch. No hesitation from McNutt, up to hit the red and flop to the corner for a guard.
Good throw.
Yeah. You want to play this?
I draw.
Yeah, we can draw. They might play this.
Or play over here.
Okay.
I was wondering if they were going to go through with that. I like this call. Split the house. Give yourself a chance at 2. There is a bit of danger in leaving that red one there to be played with. It could be tapped up or used as a guard, but Nova Scotia does have hammer here, so they should have an opportunity to score their 2 if this is executed.
Maria's rough.
Yeah, just about 4. 2.
Okay.
Want them even?
Yeah. Just here. Looks good. Nice.
That'll work.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Good time. Okay, you got it.
BC looking for the offensive defensive shot here where we can get the hit and the roll under and kill 2 birds. Meredith Cole's offering.
Got it, curl.
Gabby Brissett trying to make it curl.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Roll.
Gets up to the nose and rolls an inch inside. Now you see McNutt call for the same shot.
Release or slide?
On the sweep, right out of her hand.
Hard, Grace, hard.
Good sweep there from Grace McCusker. Held the line, saved the shooter.
What? Yeah, she did, yeah.
There is a lot of curl in this ice, so if you're anywhere close, you probably need to keep the broom down. As soon as you lift them up, they're going to snap on you. BC just looking for the hit and roll here, not taking on the double. It's a really difficult angle.
Yep, early. Yep, hard. Clean. Curl. That's my bad there. 10.
Was a little bit overcooked on the sweeping there. They were expecting that one to curl, and it didn't.
Sat right there.
Yeah.
Maria Fitzgerald trying to stick this one on the nose, and this is also tracking a little bit. So maybe there's a bit of a straight spot there. And that's a bit of bad luck. Not to stick around and also remove your other counter at the same time.
That one was a little bit outside, right out of her hand.
It's all right. What was it? Just about 5? What was it?
Now leaves BC sitting one.
It's pretty straight though, too.
So just like that, the end turns around a little bit.
Yeah.
Nova Scotia looked like they were going to be in decent shape to put 2 on the board, and now
I give you more ice than this.
tables have turned.
Yeah.
You see that so often, maybe more so at a
We like wick off
junior
at the
level
eye.
event where
Yeah.
one miss can change the complexion of an end, just like that.
And we've certainly seen a few ends turn around just because of a half shot or a miss shot, or in that case, not only you miss it, but you miss it in a way that actually hurts more than a miss, because it almost counts as a make for the other team.
Running well right now.
Emily Bowles looking for a draw to tuck a piece. Perfect line, and maybe just 2 feet deep. They would have loved to have kept that in front of the tee line.
Allison McNutt will now have an opportunity to come down to it.
If that rock stays in front of the tee line, then Allie McNutt is
big trouble.
A little short on options, but the fact that it slid deep and Allie can follow that shot down and lock one on could be her opportunity to generate a deuce. Line looks pretty good if it has the legs. This is walking right over across the line. And that's an excellent shot. Perfectly frozen, totally buried. That rock is not going anywhere easily. Not totally buried, but still, it's not going anywhere.
Wonderful shot.
Yeah, I like a touch more. Yeah. All right.
Now you see BC's Emily Bowles try to follow it down one more time, do the exact same thing, freeze on the corner. However, there's always danger in freezing on a freeze, because if the angles aren't good, the 2 reds can go and the 2 yellows could stay.
Yeah, you don't want to bounce off this one and sit in the open.
Emily Bowles looking for a chunk of the button frozen with her last rock of the 3rd. Nova Scotia still has one more to come following this. Looks like the weight's all there. They're just trying to walk it over. And that bounce is what they're hoping to avoid.
Yep, that was
I think it's might
That
be
was
easier
one
to
of the
switch
risks
to hit
with
this side.
the corner freeze.
But let me see though. I like that.
I don't mind this way.
Okay. 10. Do you like 10-5?
Yeah, 10-5.
Okay. Let's make it out.
Leaves her an open hit for 2 now.
Yeah, and a little wiggle room here on the execution tolerance. You don't have to be perfectly on the nose. You can be a little bit high, and your red will just go into the yellow. That'll park on the red. Or you can be a little bit low as long as you don't really cross it. So anywhere near the nose, plus or minus an inch or two, will get you your result.
Queen. Whoa.
10-5, a nice control weight.
Whoa.
Starting to curl a little bit. Coming up to the nose. Looks pretty good to me.
Very
2
nice.
points on the board for Nova Scotia. They'll take a 3-1 lead into the 4th, and we'll be back right after this.
When I think New Holland, the first word that would come to my mind, I would think success. I think without it, for me, the success isn't there.
Whenever you deal with somebody so long and they take care of you, you remember that.
New Holland builds products that will continue to evolve and make the farmer more efficient, that can produce food for the world.
Hey, Canada, come on into Montana's, where weekdays have turned into deal days. Why not check out our half-price wings every Monday, $5 tacos on Tuesdays, all-you-can-eat ribs Wednesdays, and drink deals every day, only at Montana's.
Two points on the board for Nova Scotia's Allie McNutt, and they take a 3-1 lead into the 4th end. I'm Brian Chick here with Tyler Spitzer, and you are watching the New Holland Canadian U21 Championships from Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, Alberta. You may have seen the lead shots during our commercial break. Nova Scotia goes top 8 with their first, and BC throws the corner. I want to welcome everybody who's watching on Curling Canada Plus. We appreciate your subscription. And we've got people all around the world tuned in for this broadcast. As far away as Switzerland, I think I know who that is. And we had Lithuania just a second ago. And people across Canada and the United States. So thank you for joining us, and thanks for your subscription. This is the 3rd weekly event that we've had in a row, following the U Sport and College Collegiate Nationals, and then the Mixed Doubles Nationals. And this week, Curling Canada Plus featuring 2 more national championships, the U21 New Hollands and the Wheelchair Nationals, which is going on in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan right now. So lots of curling on platform, and thanks for tuning in.
All you. How are you guys?
Halfway.
We'll leave it there. Keep going. Okay, that's good. That's good there. That's good. 17-9.
Couple corner guards there from BC. Try to set up this end. to generate at least 2 points.
They'd like to get their 2, and there's a fine line between going for your 2 or going a little bit too hard for your 2. And I'm not saying they're there yet, but at some point you got to deal with the yellow that's in the middle of the rings.
Just to it. Yeah, it just moved a little bit. That's good. Okay.
Gabby Brissett looking to take on the, I hate to say it's a gimme double, but it's pretty lined up. Anywhere near the nose, and those yellows disappear. Wasn't a gimme.
No, wanted to get rid of both yellows and hold the red. Instead, she gets rid of one yellow and loses her red.
Just needed to curl a little bit more there. Had to come up another couple inches and it would have been real good. Allison Umla looking to put that guard back somewhere near the center line.
Line's tight. Okay. Sister free. Over and off.
Lists her hobbies as playing the ukulele and baking desserts.
I don't know much about baking desserts, but I certainly don't mind eating the desserts.
That's what I was thinking too. Sounds like a lovely household to be a part of. Ukulele music and snacks.
Just sitting here. Okay. You got it. Whoa, we're wide.
Gabby Brissett looking for a double, which if made might actually be close to a triple. But they're trying to make this curl. It's going to only get a chunk of the top one. And again, we'll roll out. Just not getting the precision on these bigger weight shots.
All right. Chasing if we got any. Yeah, just do it wide on that.
Yeah.
What do you looking at?
Nova Scotia throw another guard. Keep putting the pressure on BC.
Maria Fitzgerald lists her hobbies as sailing in summer, member of the Hubbard Sailing Club, loves to ski and play the piano. A lot of multi-talented athletes here.
Wait, only line's good. Let it sit. Nice, Maria. Yeah.
I don't think that one's in, but I don't think it matters either. It can't stay there.
And is this the straight peeler or the run? Run. Okay. You got it.
Somewhere near the nose, could get both yellows and potentially all 3 yellows moving. Meredith Cole taking a run at it. Gets one. It stuffs it.
Oh my God.
So good at that. That's not something you want to be good at, though. And you're throwing them so good, you're not getting an inch high or an inch low, and just nutting it on the run backs. Interesting fact, though, Emily, Meredith, and Mara, all roommates at the University of Victoria. So now, Maria Fitzgerald for Nova Scotia trying to loop one in behind that red guard.
Okay, well. Great.
She's got it.
Yeah.
It's got to curl a little bit, but the weight seems pretty close. You don't want to overlap those if you can help it. That's not terrible, but they would have liked a little bit more curl.
Okay, 10.
Okay. Okay, you got it, Mary.
10. Let's make this good.
Good.
Meredith throwing a little bit softer weight this time, trying to get the hit and roll under. Thought about calling the audible on the double. Looks like should be get near the nose. Gets the back double. And as I'm fond of saying, it's better than it was.
Yeah, even like maybe 10-5 just because the curl.
Not perfectly ideal for what they were hoping, but definitely an improvement to the situation.
Yeah, maybe 11. There.
Let's make it out. You got it. Good though.
You need to make sure you get to nose here.
Do like 11? Yeah.
You definitely don't want to be high on this. You have to cross the face. I'd almost rather tick the guard than be wide.
Close.
11.5. That's a nice, maybe board-ish weight. It will curl. Woo! Skinny by the guard. Does the trick, but a little casual with the line call there.
Do you like it?
It's not easy.
No, I mean, even that's okay. We might have a shot. Well, it's not great. We kind of have to make the double.
As you said, better than it was.
Yeah.
I mean, that guard's
That's
It's really all you can try to do on each shot. You're not going to make everything perfectly, but try to improve your situation.
I just want to know like how much we have beside that red.
The only thing is, even if we make the double, are we going to be open? Do you want to call it time or the direction?
How much time are we at? 23. So let's see. What are, like, we play the double. Otherwise, I mean, there's the straight run.
There is just this. Is the run not there?
Sorry?
It's the easiest, but...
Yeah, I don't mind that. Just the straight run.
Yeah.
I like it.
Looks like we will have a coach's interaction.
Straight run.
BC coach Logan Miron coming out to discuss with the team.
Options, right? If you're a little high side, you're into that one, you roll on top of it. That's really good too. Just 10, yeah. You got it.
A nice quick one.
Be like here.
Teams are allowed 2 of those interactions per 5 ends. So 2 before the 5th end break and 2 after. Your clock keeps running though, so it's not exactly like a timeout. Just allows a little more input from the coaches without trying to slow things down too much.
Alright, it's a 10 here. Should go up a bit.
So after a brief discussion, I've settled on the nose run back, which I think is probably the right call, as it's quite a bit simpler than the sneaky double they were considering. 10-5, nice control weight. Oh my goodness, that is tragic. Just unlucky here. It's an inch either way, and that's perfect. And they're not finding the spot they need. How do you put it between those two and not get rid of either?
They're saying guard. Guard what?
And all you can do is laugh, roll your eyes. Like, come on, can't buy one today.
Yeah, they're huge.
We talked in the second end how Emily Bowles at some point would need to have her draw weight. That point maybe coming up here.
And it may have to be really good, because that rock, I think, is touching the top of the button. So, and it is. So
Just full 8?
just full 8. You'll see Ali McNutt try to tuck a chunk around the top 8 foot. Maybe stick out. There's really no harm in showing a piece and maybe cutting off a bit of that draw path.
Yeah, true. Okay. Line's good. Lots of room.
Right to it. Okay, line's good for frozen.
Right to it.
Whoa. Just frozen. Needs to curl right
Whoa.
All right. Curls right up. Frozen, buried. That's pretty perfect. And
now we're drawing here. Oh, yeah, no. I forgot about that.
This is when you look at your skip and you say,
I don't know if that's true.
okay, we need you now.
there's definitely a draw to the piece of the button. But there's also a in-off double that is makeable, but looks like they're taking on the draw. And I think that's the right call.
6 feet less than that last one.
Sorry?
The right call, but a very, very
Oh, yeah.
difficult shot. Needing the button
Yeah, this is a hair more ice than we've had, but I think it's still through the same hair.
and facing 3 in the process.
So needing a piece of the button, or at least a good chunk of the forefoot, to cut Nova Scotia down. Emily Bowles with their last shot in the fourth.
See? Tilt a little down.
Room right now. See? Line's good. Line's good.
All of you guys.
Line's perfect. You got it.
Line's pretty good if they can get it there. Got to keep going. Get the brooms down. Ooh, what a shot.
Oh, boy.
I think she got there.
I think she got it too, yeah. Heck of a shot.
No hesitation. What a shot. 1 point on the board for BC.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You can throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
An absolutely clutch draw by Emily Bowles, right to the top of the button against 3 to score 1. Keeps this game pretty tight. 3-2 for Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia will take hammer into the 5th end, but wow, what a shot that was.
That is 2 big shots she's made. She did it in the first end. She did it again there. Bail her team out and keep this a very close game.
Nova Scotia's got to wonder what they need to do here. They've made Emily throw against a handful a couple of times and not much to show for it.
Full credit to Emily. She has come up with the shots when she's needed them.
Although I think full credit on that one goes to the sweepers. They dragged that.
That is true.
As far as it was going to go, and it was just far enough. Mara Harris here with her second shot of the 5th. Looking for a tight center guard. And will it stop? No, it just trickles in. Grace McCusker looking to take on the hit, maybe get 2. One's enough, but sticks right on the nose. Jams it, but will it spill? Grabs and spins back in. McNutt opting for the call to the wings, try to spread those yellows out. It'll be up to Allison Umlaut to deliver.
Little tight. Back forward. All there now. Line's good. Line's good. Curling. Top 8-4. Wait only. Yep, hard Maria. Yep, right here. Yep. Hard.
Oh, I didn't do that. Yeah. Take it out. I'm kidding. Sorry. There's 10 here.
Called and made. There may have been a little contact there, but Emily Bowes letting it stand. Gabby Brissett.
Good brush.
Trying to get a chunk of the yellow. Hits it. Rolls a little too far.
9-8. Oh my goodness.
Line's good. Same line. It's running.
Allison Umlaut again looking for that same draw to the wings. Past the New Holland tractor. Over the New Holland logo. And into the edge of the house with that New Holland logo right in the middle.
Nice 10.
Meredith Cole trying to nose or get a little inside roll on this offering.
Hard curl.
And it's hanging, trying to make it curl.
Keep going, keep going.
Gets roughly to the nose.
10.
I think the last few takes have just shown how weight sensitive it is. If you bring the weight up a little bit, they'll really track on you. But if you're a little bit soft, then all of a sudden they take off.
They go hard at the end. If your weight is any bit down.
Clean. Roll. Roll. Clean. Clean. Whoa. Great though. 9-6.
Little flop out. But sticks around, and yellow still counts too. That's Nova Scotia's rocks are the yellow ones. Here comes one from a red one from British Columbia.
Okay, well. Hard, Gabby. Go, Gabby. Hard, Gabby. Hard, Gabby.
Hits and sticks, and I think that is shot over the back yellow. So one by one, we're moving this rock up to the top of the house, and a nose hit here won't cut it. They need a little bit of a roll inside.
We will soon have a guard that we can come around. We keep nosing these.
Nose, and I think that may be in, but everybody's going to have a second look.
It's close.
I think mine will curl a bit more than yours did.
We can see daylight from that angle, but I bet if you're standing directly over top of it, that part of it is overlapping the rings.
Thanks. Text on the button last hand. Oh no, it's a different shot. It's like, that's crazy. Okay, just getting a roll here. 10, yeah. I'm making mine will curl a bit more than Mare's. Yeah.
Emily Bowles with her first of the fifth, trying to get a 6-foot roll over to the center line.
You're close. You're close.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Another nose hit, and now there's no question about it. This gives Nova Scotia an opportunity to come around now.
It's like a 15.
Yeah, I think just another example of throwing a little bit more weight than you meant to and not getting any of that curl. With, I think they wanted a 10 or a 10.5. It just seemed like a little bit faster than that, and that's kind of where the threshold is. If it's a softer weight, 10.5 or 11, you definitely get some curl. But if you're closer to anything under 10, I think is going to run pretty straight on you. Ali McNutt looking to bury a good chunk of this behind that corner red. Would love to keep it in front of the tee line. Sliding a little bit deep.
if we give them 2, they go down. They go down 5. Yeah.
They were just ice here.
Okay, let's make it.
Had a little thought about doing some scoreboard math and whether or not hitting the open one was worth it, and have decided that they don't want to give up 2 at this point. So if they can limit the damage to 1, that's worth the risk.
Okay, you like 3? Sorry, you like 3? Yeah.
Again, you can't
Yeah,
be
that's
heavy
fine.
here.
Okay. Yeah, do we risk half or something similar?
You risk giving Nova Scotia a shot for 3.
Okay.
6 feet more than your last.
Yeah. 4, yeah. All right, let's make it. Yeah.
Looking to just lock one onto that back yellow on the left, try to freeze it, stay shot, and be somewhat buried, so there's no chance to remove this final red stone. They like the weight, and I think the line's pretty good. This should be close. Not quite frozen, but you got a good 3/4 of that, so should be able to pick it out.
Yeah, I like it, Ellie. You think board?
With board weight, you should be able to remove it and stick around. You've got a whole house to roll to on the other side.
Okay, just board. No,
Big
I was thinking
opportunity
just hit
here
the, like hit it thin.
Nova Scotia.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. I think it went across the top there.
Most important priority is make contact and stick around, and
Yeah. Okay,
if you can keep it at less than half a rock, with board weight, you should be able to stick around and potentially score 3. Last rock in the 5th, coming from Nova Scotia's Allie McNutt. Looking for a little hack weight chip shot. It's on the red, across the top, and the roll will stick around. Lovely shot. 3 on the board for Nova Scotia. They'll take a 6-2 lead into the 5th end break. We're going to take about 5. We'll be back after a short break, so join us on the other side.
When I think New Holland, the first word that would come to my mind, I would think success. I think without it, for me, the success isn't there.
Whenever you deal with somebody so long and they take care of you, you remember that.
New Holland builds products that will continue to evolve and make the farmer more efficient, that can produce food for the world.
Nutrien Solutions. Everything you need to win the season and go full seat ahead.
Hey, Canada, come on into Montana's where weekdays have turned into deal days. Why not check out our half-price wings every Monday, $5 tacos on Tuesdays, all-you-can-eat ribs Wednesdays, and drink deals every day, only at Montana's.
Here's to those who ask how. Like Kevin, who asked Janine from Home Hardware how to build a place to work. Or not work. Or Siobhan, who took Josh's advice and created a front yard worthy of this TV commercial. Or Eric and Sasha, who asked Julie how to reimagine their backyard so they could be more outdoorsy. Complete your next project with helpful advice from thousands of store owners and team members across Canada. Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
Hope everybody enjoyed their halftime break and grabbed a snack or a beverage or something. We've got the second half coming up for you between BC's Emily Bowles and Nova Scotia's Allie McNutt. We're here in Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, Alberta at the Suncor Community Leisure Centre at McDonald Island Park for the New Holland U21 Canadian Championship. I'm Brian Chick, and we're here with Tyler Spitzer. What do you think the first half of that action?
Well, it felt like Nova Scotia was consistently in control in most of those ends. Emily Bowles made a couple of nice shots to bail her team out, but really felt like they were chasing most of the end, and I think the score would reflect that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Emily Bowles made some absolute pistols. One in the first, another one in the fourth there, I guess, and kept her team in it. But you're right, the Nova Scotia attack seems relentless, and when you're throwing at 2s and 3s and 4s every end, you can't bail your team out every time, especially when you don't have hammer. Great shot there too by Allie McNutt. Little board weight chip shot to score 3 in the fifth, and that really changed the complexion of the game.
Yeah, it sure did.
Mop one. All right, redemption, you got it here. Looked like a really nice throw. It's out of the way, and you got it.
Mara Harris' first guard attempt slips into the house, and Halifax Curling Club's Grace McCusker wastes no time taking that out of play.
Nova Scotia will be quite content to keep this open as much as they're allowed.
All you, right here. Mare's raw. Really curling. Okay, over curling a hair. Okay, good shot. 17-3. Great. Good.
Allison Umla going to ignore that corner. Just throw it wide open right into the top of the forefoot. Sit one.
Line's good. Little tight.
Try to make BC sweat a little bit.
So fast. Line's tight. It's curly.
As you said earlier, you're Nova Scotia. Let your opponents make the hard shots. You make the easy shots.
We definitely saw a lot of the, quote, easy shots not being made earlier in the game. There are a lot of open hits that were missed, a lot of draws that were coming up short or going through, and that's what I mean. Like, those shots at this level should be fairly consistently made, and when they're not, it really forces your team into a bit of a hole trying to catch up for the misses. It's been better since about the third end. The execution has definitely improved, but early on we were seeing some questionable execution.
Hard line. Hard line. Hard line. Right in there. 16.
A little rub off that top guard and able to get her own.
10.
Split roll to center. Yep. Okay, perfect. Right to it, Allison. You got it.
Allison playing the inside-out control weight hit, just trying to get that red out of play. Should be able to stick around, maybe roll back to the middle.
Yep. Hard, Grace. Yep, hard.
Hold it there, hard, Grace.
Really hard. Hard, you got it, Grace. And you roll. Okay.
Good shoot, Grace.
No roll, but
Good throw.
sticks around, and more importantly, didn't cross the face and jam or pick the back one. We've seen actually quite a few of those get stuffed on the backing.
Clean.
Now it's Gabby Brissett taking on a hit and a small roll, trying to take advantage of that corner guard. Got the hit, got the roll, but ran out of rings. That was very precise. You had to roll about a foot and kind of spin backwards a little bit. It was perhaps possible, but not the easiest one to make.
Just the brown.
Nova Scotia will try to get rid of that corner guard. Not give BC anything that they can go behind.
Bit of confusion there. That red was sent back towards the other red and was about to hit the wall around the same time, but they weren't sure if it was going to get wall or rock first, and I guess both skips have agreed that I'm just going to leave it there. I would say that I can't imagine that guard that's almost touching the foam on the sidelines is going to be terribly useful, but stranger things have happened. That might be the only thing to play with later on.
Another guard goes up, and another peel attempt by Nova Scotia to once again get rid of it.
I feel like that might be a familiar dance for the next few ends. This one needs to curl though. Tracking definitely straight and just flashes a bit wide.
Oh, there is one of those unforced errors that you were just talking about. Giving BC
a little bit of hope anyway.
It's all right. Just slid a little tight and got it out. Yeah. I'm up here.
Meredith Cole trying to take advantage of that miss. They left the guard up. You might as well make them pay for it.
Oh, wait. More line. Okay, line fine, line fine. Yeah, line, yeah, line. Yeah, line. Hard line, hard line, hard line. Okay, you're good. You're good.
Sneak it by and finish up. I'd say that's pretty good.
I think there should be.
We'll take it out.
That yellow at the back is still shot.
Pretty good.
Okay.
So, Allison McNutt going to try to play the freeze just down to the tee line.
Yeah, tee line or just above tees good.
Which is one of those great if you make it calls, but if you're ever bit off, it can open the door for a multiple score.
Is this the same as? No. Okay, anyway, you got it. What's it? Should be there. All there.
It's starting to go now.
And this looks like a lot of weight.
Okay.
Yeah. It's 2 unforced errors in a row now for Nova Scotia.
Okay. Try and do that then. Yeah.
This is how you let teams back into a game that probably they shouldn't.
Give him a nice roll away if you can.
Yeah, the choice here is hit the open one, sit 2, and you're pretty much guaranteed 2. If you ever make that come around, freeze again, and you get a half shot pretty much anywhere, a chip off or a draw that's not perfectly placed, you could have a double for 3 pretty quickly. A lot of game left, I suppose, so they're just content trying to take their 2, the safer 2. Need to stick around right near the nose here. And say that does it.
Okay, just 10. Nose. Little roll's okay, but. 10.
Allison McNutt looking to get rid of a BC stone and hopefully stick around. Looks pretty good, right on the beak. And that will give Emily Bowles a nose hit for 2, and they'll be happy to get back in this game.
Same weight.
Playing this one inside out, which is not the way I'd be doing it, but some teams like prefer that, and I just find it complicates things. Tends to curl more and maybe a little bit less predictably in my experience, but
I'm the same way. I would play this the other way, but as long as the skip is comfortable.
Yeah, it can certainly be made this way, and no reason it shouldn't. Clean usually means that's made, and right on the nose. So BC fights back with 2, and we'll take a quick break and be back after this.
Nutrien Ag Solutions. Everything you need to win the season and go full seat ahead.
Two points on the board for British Columbia. Brings this to a 2-point game. 6-4 Nova Scotia leads. However, the BC foursome put a nice end together, took advantage of some mistakes, and got themselves back into this one. Still 4 ends to play, so lots yet to be decided.
Okay, that's good.
Good job.
Yeah, they did. They took advantage of 2 Nova Scotia misses, got their deuce. Now we'll look to try to force Nova Scotia to 1 here so they can get Hammer back.
Mara Harris open with a center guard right tight to the rings, and we'll try to follow it around to that Grace McCusker draw. Lock one on the forefoot.
Where? We're tapping it. It's coming. Okay, curl that. Curl.
Just do it.
Yep. Go, Mare. Make it good.
Right up to it. A little bounce, but pretty good.
11.
I just have it. I think you need to inside if you feel.
11.
You don't think?
Do you like that? Sure, yeah.
Grace McCusker trying to bounce this red out, but a little bit wide, a little bit heavy, and gets rid of the backing and rolls open. So BC will have a chance to throw another one in there, protect that rock in the forefoot.
I kind of like this. It's like top 8. Okay, you got it.
And that will fall on the shoulders of Gabby Brissett.
Getting on some. Okay, we have room. Okay, Mare. How's weight? Mare. Keep going, Mare. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Hard.
Not exactly what the call was, but not a bad result. It is Still difficult to get that red out of play.
10.
Here you go, Allison. For 2.
Clean. 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 Whoa. Grace. Hard Grace.
Hard Grace, right over. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
We just draw it. Top 8.
Like 4 feet left?
Yeah. Spit left side.
Allison Umla gets the high side, removes one of the reds, and separates it from the backing a little bit.
Pretty close. Want to be here. Running. Do you need a whip? Do you need this? Okay, that's okay. What was the time now? 14.8.
Again, the line was pretty good, just 6 feet heavy. Would love to have that one in front of the tee line.
I think just this. Like, do you want to try and
Seen
make
that
this?
a few times today, and this morning and now this afternoon, where teams just slide a little bit beyond the.
Yeah, it's definitely been the consistent misses that draws are sliding a bit deeper than most people intend them to.
Straight draw.
Yeah, I just don't know what else. Like, if we know, she's just gonna hit and roll.
Straight draw.
Yeah, and then she freezes to us.
Yeah. I don't mind, like, can we roll anything with this? Like,
I don't, like...
I think you can hit, like, and try to roll the edge of the forefoot.
Yeah, we could try that, like, just here.
Yeah, like, just enough to not jam.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty thin jam, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, we can try it. Yeah.
To the edge of the forefoot?
Okay.
Then she goes, then we have a run.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Just here. 10.
Yeah, we're on like the edge of the forefoot. Okay. It's a pretty thin jam. Like, I don't know. I think you're okay. Yeah, I think you're okay.
You heard them talk it out, so we don't have to explain much, but trying to get just inside the nose of this red, trying to roll inside. Nose is okay, but a little roll inside would be really good.
Grace. Hard Grace. Hard roll. That's pretty good.
That's about what they were trying to do. Maybe could have curled up an inch more for a bit more roll, but you don't want to get too greedy because there was a shot where you could have taken your other yellow out if you curl too much.
That's pretty good, yeah? I like that call.
There with Cole can get a little inside roll here.
How's weight? Oh, wait. Yeah.
Sitting good.
Yeah. Clean. Whoa.
Gets to the nose and rolls in just an inch.
12, yeah.
It's like just off nose. 9.
9. Yeah, yours is 9? Yeah. Okay.
Maria Fitzgerald going to take on the double now that the stagger is a little more vertical. It's almost a nose hit, just a sliver to the right as we're looking at it.
Oh boy.
Just kisses the guard on the way by, and enough to redirect. They got lucky that they didn't pick their yellow on the way by, but you got to be annoyed that you couldn't get either of the reds.
3's okay. Yeah.
didn't sense a lot of panic in the line call there. I think that they thought they were going to get by that.
Yeah, I think they thought they were good. There was no panic.
Every good skip knows that if you yell harder, they sweep harder. The louder you get, the more adrenaline gets pumping in your sweepers, and there wasn't much of that on that. So I don't know what they saw, but it didn't seem like they were too fussed about getting by the guard.
Okay, hair tight line. Over curling a hair. Can you lick it off? Curl a hair, try and get a wick off of this.
Meredith Cole's draw attempt.
Sorry,
a little bit light.
We're gonna be a little further.
Still somewhat in the way though. Does cover.
Leaves him.
Double's still probably there.
Do you like 9 or 10? Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the call. Yeah.
I like this call. The thought now being make our last shot as easy as possible if you're Nova Scotia. So get those guards out of there. You might have a double, you might have to draw, but let's not make it overcomplicated. This needs to curl a little bit.
Okay.
Still leaves one guard up there for BC to
Try and get in there.
come around.
Like here? Or do you think we just go right here? Like,
I mean, I think they're just gonna do this then.
yeah.
I'm seeing this, and if you're like, that's fine.
Yeah. Don't want to leave a super easy double, so I don't mind it being right here.
Like half buried?
Like, yeah. Okay. Do you hate that? Yeah?
Half buried even?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, how's it okay?
Like just half in the 4, just even with this. Do it here.
Right on the center,
So,
right?
yeah, we could probably do a little more. I think we can curl it. Okay. Yeah, I like it.
Way to talk that one out. They looked at their options, thought about what the opponent was going to do, and I think this is the right call. If you can get one kind of half tucked, even
with that red, don't want to
top 8, touching the center line, that really
All right, let's make it.
changes up the look, and
Speed's running the same.
Allison McNutt will have some work to do to score even a single.
It's really the first time in this game where Allison McNutt is going to be looking at something on her shots here.
Favorite of hair.
It looks like it's curling already.
Hard, guys, hard! Hard, make it good, hard! Oh, wait, can I whip the red over?
Where's just a 3? We're just a 3.
Just seemed maybe a little soft on the release and didn't have the nice positive extension that we've seen a lot of.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, top 4.
That one curled a lot. She had here.
Yeah.
Probably here.
Okay, let's hold it. We got it.
So opportunity here for Nova Scotia to turn this end around, put one in a good spot, and make them chase you.
Those is pretty good. Or 4-4, but let's have a slash. So I think even.
Just 4-4, bite 4?
Like top 4, bite the 4, half in the 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, you go, Allie. What are you pulling? Got it.
Allie McNutt's first of the 7th end. Looking to get a good piece of 4-foot. Stay hidden.
Awesome, girl. You gotta curl. You gotta curl.
Almost perfect. Would have loved that to curl just another half a rock and be totally buried. Maybe 6 inches lighter, so there's no run in on that side red. As it stands, it's still super difficult. But there may be a way to pick this out the hole. And
I think with this ice, we'll always be over curling if we're throwing that weight though.
Okay, let's throw back forward.
Maybe. Yeah, I like it.
the good news for Ali McNutt is that she just threw it once, and if forced to, she could probably do it again.
Pick it out, and you'll
yeah.
force Nova Scotia to the one, which you would have taken at the start of this end.
Like 8 feet more? 10? A lot? 12? Yeah, 12.
They're not throwing a lot of weight at this, given the ice that they're taking. It's almost 3.5 feet, so they're throwing this nice and soft, trying to get this to curl in. Just back 8, trying to get to the nose maybe, or across the nose. I'm not sure I love the call. I think I would have rather just gotten rid of that out the side door with a little bit extra weight and eliminate the possibility eliminate the possibility for this 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't have played around with it either. Get rid of it, force him to 1, move on. Now she's got a shot with backing to get her 2.
The line was perfect, but I don't know that you can get to that line with the weight she needed. I think that's the issue with that shot. You could definitely see enough where you could throw it with weight, hit a third or a quarter, and poke it out sideways, and this would only be a shot for 1. But hindsight, 2020. Got to settle. This has got a little extra juice. Bounces, sits right there. Out of nowhere, 2 points for Nova Scotia. That'll be an 8-4 game after 7. We'll be back with the 8th right after this break.
When I think New Holland, the first word that would come to my mind, I would think success. I think without it, for me, the success isn't there.
Whenever you deal with somebody so long and they take care of you, you remember that.
New Holland builds products that will continue to evolve and make the farmer more efficient, that can produce food for the world.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes 1. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
Hey, Canada, come on into Montana's, where weekdays have turned into deal days. Why not check out our half-price wings every Monday, $5 tacos on Tuesdays, all-you-can-eat ribs Wednesdays, and drink deals every day, only at Montana's.
Welcome back to the New Holland Canadian U21 Championships from Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, Alberta. I'm Brian Chick here with Tyler Spitzer, and
really curling.
Out of nowhere, Nova Scotia puts 2 on the board. That looked like it was going to be a BC heavy end.
Maybe I do just need a lot more ice.
That was an end that BC had complete control of until
16
final couple of shots.
So now with a 4-point lead, the Blue Nosers are going to play pure defense, thrown into the top 4. BC throws the corner, and I think we'll see another one in the top 4.
Line's good, little tight. Same line. Same line.
Where does the PP last?
Okay, just top 12.
We're almost to it. Almost top 4. Can you freeze it? Can we freeze it?
Yeah, it's staying out wide. Out as well.
To it anyways.
Yep. Just to it.
To it.
Nice, Grace. Good sweep.
It's worth noting that both of these teams were, in fact, their provincial champions. A lot of provinces have a second rep here who is usually the provincial runner-up or somebody who's selected by the association. But they don't get to wear the provincial crest or that nice blue heart on your chest. So if you're BC 1 or Nova Scotia 1, that means you got to win the actual provincial title.
Yeah, just let it sit. 18. Good judge.
There are 18 teams in this event, 2 pools of 9. Each pool does a full 8-game round robin, at which point the playoff teams will be selected. It's a long week.
It is a grind, and this is just the start of it. Day 2. Try not to let your highs get too high and your lows get too low.
A lot of people ask me, well, why would you ever need steroids in curling? Why does fitness matter in curling? Well, have you ever tried playing 10 games, 12 games in a week? You're out there competing for 30 to 40 hours just to try to win 1 medal.
Just a 10. Okay.
Olympic sprinters get to do that in about 30 seconds. How many? 3 heats at 10 seconds each? Yeah.
Close.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, fitness and endurance really matters, and it's important that you definitely get your rest over the course of the week. I know it's tempting, as I've been there, as a teenager, you want to stay up late, you want to make some new friends, fool around, whatever, but if you're not well rested by the time you get to Thursday and Friday, your body's going to give up on you.
A lot of extracurricular stuff here for these kids too. They all have full access to this facility, pool, everything else it has to offer. They've got a player's lounge at the hotel. No shortage of things for them to do when they're not curling.
Line's good. Line's good. Yep, hard.
Surprised here that Nova Scotia is opting for the guard. They're obviously sitting 2 in the forefoot there, and I'm just going to say, okay, well, if we guard, you've got to deal with them. A lot of times you see that pure defensive strategy of just getting rid of all the reds, but this is also pretty effective to make them do all the heavy lifting.
Certainly, if it was me, I would be making all the reds go away every opportunity I had. They are committed now.
Good shot.
Straight peel from Gabby Brissett. You're just going to see another guard here from Nova Scotia, thinking that it'll take a few shots to get at those rocks in the forefoot, and as long as these guards are pretty anywhere close, that will improve the chances that Nova Scotia puts BC in a very tough spot.
Line's good. Here's fine. Okay. Line's good. Running. Okay. Needs to curl. Curl. Yep, hard. Yep. Yep, hard. Right to it.
slides in a little bit deep, but they called plan B and basically locked another one on the pile.
Nose, hair high is fine. Just a hair. Nose is great.
So it'll be up to Meredith Cole to try to run this red straight back and potentially get 2 yellows out. I don't think the middle one's going anywhere. Close, bang, bang, bang. 2 yellows fly.
Very nice.
Red sticks around.
Hold a bit to center.
That was, I think, the best you could have done with that particular shot. Well done by Meredith Cole.
I kind of like this.
I think we hit it out before.
Okay, yeah.
Like middle roll to center, just like to the feet.
Okay.
10?
You guys like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
10? Yeah.
Now you see Nova Scotia switching into the hit the red strategy. I didn't mind the other play. It was just you had to keep making that guard.
Clean.
No question now. Red is in the house. You will be going after it.
Yeah. Yep. Hard.
Curls up. Little flop outside, but hangs on. So red sits 2. BC taking on the little T-line back 4 weight tap. Try to get that yellow behind the T-line, see if they can use it as some backing. That one looked a little soft out of the hand. I don't think this has the weight.
Both of you? Both of you?
Yeah.
Leave it?
Short.
I don't even know.
Over curl.
Okay. Okay. Who beats her up?
It looked like Meredith just squeezed that a little bit too long and took a bit of the weight off, and as a result, came up well short and over curled. So you will see Allie McNutt try to
Like top 8, top 4?
lob one into the top of the house. Make that yellow really hard to get
If
out.
we're top 8, leave it a little bit showing is okay. Yeah, and then we'll probably do nose to open. Okay, from there.
Great scrub there, almost end to end. Half tucked behind the corner, not quite the corner, but behind the red guard there, and
I don't know if we even see enough of that.
now getting any access to that yellow on the forefoot becomes very difficult. Even they're looking at all the run backs on the guards, and
I don't see how we ever get rid of this goal.
there you have it.
Yeah, there's
Healing?
not a lot of good options here, BC.
You can come down and look. We don't really have time. We don't have tons of time. Might just have to try that. Like, if we freeze, we're never scoring. I don't even, like... where is this? Yeah.
Can you ever try and just drop back?
Perfect. Sorry?
Can you try and drop back?
mean, with the freeze, we're hoping to have one of these on my last.
Coach Logan Miron comes out to have a look. We'll have an interaction.
Sorry? Yeah,
I think you just have to like.
Oh,
Evan's not coming. I think you just want to like kind of freeze, but not quite to it, like center line, top 8. Yeah. And then hope they don't guard it perfect, and you have a slash. If they do, then you have something here.
Let's make that.
Yeah. You don't want to be like frozen, just like.
This is one of those shots where you are just trying to figure out what to leave yourself on your last one. How can you set something up to maybe have a chance to score on your next one?
Yeah, this is a bit of desperate times here. You need.
Thanks.
I think the call is going for just top 8, half buried, half open, so you might have a tap on something later on, but it's a little unnerving when you're not even trying to get shot at this point. But you really can't. You don't have a great way in.
Felt down. Felt really down.
Just a little bit light. I think that was roughly the line they were looking for. Just needed 4 more feet of weight.
She said right out of her hands, it felt down. She was right.
I think we can come wide and just take a lot of this. I just don't think we know that side enough to press sugar. I think we take like edge of the yellow or like just edge of the paint.
Teresa Breen, 4-time Scotties rep for Nova Scotia.
4 foot, right? Yeah. If you get it roll over too much, like
comes out for their interaction.
On the end, yeah.
So do you think we play the out turn, or what turn do you like here?
Yeah, the out turn might be easier, eh?
I don't mind. If we're trying to get on the end, I think we gotta play the out.
So, like edge of the 4.
Yeah, I think we take the out turn. Okay.
No shortage of experience there. Skipped at 4 Scotties. Ended up on the podium 3 times. That's not a bad record.
Always nice to have that if you're a young team, to have that in your corner, that experience, that knowledge.
And so they kept talking about putting it on the N right there of New Holland. And just try to take away that draw path, and that should almost guarantee you 1, perhaps more. But you still got to execute.
Yeah. It looks like a lot of ice, but it's I think that's really cool. Yeah. Yeah.
With Nova Scotia's last rock in the 8th, trying to take away the one option that BC could use to score. Just trying to get one in the way of that draw to the button. And that may do it. Not as deep as they want, but I think it's on the right line, which is the important part.
Just like a 10.
Yeah, there takes away the intern draw.
Just a 10. Here. Show me where you want to hit it at. Okay, do you mind if I hold the broom back here? Yeah. A little more. No, you can't. And right here. Yeah.
Go right back on the.
And when you leave your opponent with a long angle run back,
just a 10, you're trying to make sure a red stays.
Probably feel pretty good about that.
I always say, hell, if you make it, you can have the point.
Well earned.
A little more.
You know, this path between those guards is really tight. You're going to skinny right by the pile, right in the top 12 foot. She's only throwing a 10. Nice control weight. Because Not only hitting in the right spot critical, but sticking around if you do make contact.
Incredibly difficult shot, but she's made a couple already today.
Last shot in the 8th against 3, looking for a long run back, and she's close. Just ticks on the way by, but with the soft weight, sticks around, cuts them down to 1.
Great effort.
Have we played 8?
And not a bad result. That'll be 9-4 after 8.
I got 3, didn't I? Only 1? You got red in there? Oh, red's going in? Oh, it was only 1?
And we may be back after this.
Here's to those who ask how. Like Kevin, who asked Janine from Home Hardware how to build a place to work. Or not work. Or Siobhan, who took Josh's advice and created a front yard worthy of this TV commercial. Or Eric and Sasha, who asked Julie how to reimagine their backyard so they could be more outdoorsy. Complete your next project with helpful advice from thousands of store owners and team members across Canada. Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
Yeah, sorry about the confusion there at the end of the previous end. That we weren't the only one confused. Emily Bowles thought that she had given up 3, didn't realize that her raised stone had spun in to cut them down to 1, so they were briefly contemplating handshakes, but the fact that they're only down by 5, not ideal, but still not quitting time yet. Nice creative slide from Mara Harris there. I'm not sure what happened there, but they're all having a laugh about it. And she made the shot. Perfectly executed center guard. Points for style.
Here, BC, get your corner guards up. Probably need to score 3 this end to keep it going.
Yeah, you're certainly running out of time, but taking 3, stealing 2 with a 5-block free guard zone, not impossible. But I think had it been any more than 1 in the last end, you might have seen the gloves coming off and some hands extended.
You guys want another or right around? Other side? Yeah, I like it. Okay, you got it. Fresh pass here.
That's a better slide from Mara Harris. Time's getting a little bit tight for the BC team. They're down to 5 minutes and 42 seconds, where the Nova Scotia squad has almost 9 minutes left. So if this does go 10, you'll see some scrambling to try to get this game finished without hitting zeros on the clock.
Harris has done her part, got her 2 corner guards up on opposite ends of the sheet. And Allison Umla junking up the middle yet again, trying to go right into the top 8 foot.
Hard, guys. Yep, hard. Really hard. Yep, really tight. Yep, hard. Hard, Maria, hard.
Should we let it sit?
Okay.
Sit.
That works.
Out.
We've got our first final on a neighboring sheet. Ontario 2 with a giant win over Northern Ontario 1. Sorry, just have to double check. They don't have the numbers on the scoreboard, just the provinces, but that was Ontario 2 versus Northern Ontario 1, and that is an Ontario 2 win.
Hard, guys. We're light. Hard. We're light. Hard. Keep going hard.
You see Gabby Brissett trying to make the come around. Doesn't quite sneak by. A little rub.
Great job from you guys. 16.
Theo?
Yeah, if you're Nova Scotia, start making these Reds go away.
Hit the back when you roll under.
Yeah.
That's it. I just thought, but whatever you like.
Yeah. 9?
Yeah. Hit 9, Allison. You got it. Yeah.
You got it.
Umla again playing the inside out normal weight peel. Try to get a little roll in. 9 seconds. Hit. Maybe missed the line call there a little bit. They got off it and then it over curled a bit.
Five rocks out front. Probably not the way Nova Scotia would prefer to draw this up. The 5-point lead at this point.
Trying to sneak this one by. If it's by, it's real good. And it just touches. If that ever got by, it was going to be lost forever after a brief, short hit and roll.
I like that, Allie.
9?
Yeah, her. Do you guys like a 10? 9's fine. I like a 9. Okay, I'll take it. Nose is even okay here.
9 seconds. What a lot of teams might call normal or a little bit firm. And this one's curling already. I got to go hard for line.
Whoa, curl.
Trying to.
Curl hard.
Yeah, just lost that one right out of her hand, and a little too late on the audible to try to let it curl across the top.
15. It's top 12.
That is a break that BC needed. Now they can sink a second one.
Max, you guys, or do you just fine? Okay. 15. Top 4. Okay, line cool. Want to be top 12, line 5.
Meredith Cole trying to use that corner guard and
Line's good. We have
just
room.
tuck around about top 8, top 12.
Right here. Line's good. All you. All you. All you. Hard, 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 hard. Go, go, go. Hard, 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 hard. Hard. All in. All in.
Got to outcount that yellow.
I think they just did.
Looks like it. That's pretty well placed.
I think I can throw the intern.
Small hole here that Nova Scotia could get through, but there's not a lot of room.
Not a lot of room, but there is enough. They're just trying to figure out what turn they wanted to throw. I'd be throwing the intern here, and the team talked Allie into it, and here it comes. Snakes it through, bonks it on the nose, stays there. What a shot.
Beautiful shot.
You can come right here.
Not a lot of room on either side, but it was perfectly framed up, and that little roll makes it basically inaccessible.
Absolutely perfect.
But you like same? I like the same. Okay, no left. Okay.
Meredith Cole gonna have to play the out turn draw now. Try to bury as much as she can in the forefoot.
Smaller section. Okay, you can go early line. Want to be right here. Hard on you.
This one over curling again, maybe a little bit soft on the weight.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's second tolerance. Here on that. Yeah.
Okay. No, just top 4. Okay. But like top 12, top 8's good too. Yeah. Like life tolerance. Yeah. Okay.
Well thought out. I'd love to be top 4, but anything down that line to take away that draw is a good result.
Little soft.
Top 8. Mine's good.
Top 8's good.
Line looks really nice.
Line's really good right here. Yep.
Weight's pretty good too. Nova Scotia trying to twist the screws here, put some more pressure on. We've seen Emily Bowles make a few game saver shots already, and I think she might need to make a couple more.
I think it's good. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's definitely slowed down maybe a hair. Yeah, I like it. Let's make it good. Yeah, top 4. Just as much as we can get around that yellow.
Looks a little heavy, but it's certainly curling.
Really curling.
Back 8 still, back line.
Can't go. Might be wrecking.
Whoa.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened there. There was a lot of weight, and then it looked like it fudged coming through the slide path a little bit. And
yeah, it looked heavy, and I think that might have scared them from sweeping it, but
Mine like a 10-5. Just like
ultimately took off on them.
yeah, just near the top of the house, it looked like it took an extra half turn and warped over.
10-5. Just a little roll is good. Even those is fine.
Ali McNutt with a make it go away. Can either nose it or maybe get a little roll under, but regardless, it'll be another draw against the bundle for Emily Bowles.
Make it go away, and might be all she wrote.
Hard on the sweep. They got to get this by the guard. They're by 1. They're by the rest, and that'll do. A little more suspenseful than it needed to be, but mission accomplished. And now you'll see Emily look for a draw to the forefoot for a single.
Okay. I was just tired. Yeah, okay. Good call.
See it on her face there. That was a little closer than we meant it to to those guards. Last shot of the 9th end. BC looking for a single to keep this thing going. Looks like a lot of weight. The sweepers are backing off. Starting to grab a bit. Will it hang on? Fitzgerald out to sweep. It slides too deep. That is a steal of 2, and that is handshakes. 11-4, your final. Nova Scotia moves on to a 2-0 record. BC drops to 1-1. We'll be back at 7 p.m. local for a men's game, PEI and Northern Ontario 1. Thanks for joining us on Curling Canada Plus. We will see you later tonight.